on behalf of the organization, any statement or thoughts on Sigi and his health? And
just want him to get better. Yeah, that's what's most important by far, and want him to get better. Want him to get better as fast as he can. He's got a great family and a lot of support around him, and that's what we're hoping for.
It's obviously a personal thing with him to a degree, but what can you tell us about what's going on with him and when he might come back?
Yeah, as you can imagine, there are medical privacy issues around this stuff as well when it's health related. So my answer has to be that Sigi will address this if he chooses to. We are hopeful that he will be back, and that again, there's no pressure. It's when he feels good and when he's back and when he's healthy, then he'll come back. And that's what we're hoping for is that he makes. That he comes back 100% and happy and with everything in order.
Even hearing all of that and understanding all of that, is it useful from the soccer standpoint to have a guy like Schmetzer who's been around the block a couple of times?
Absolutely. Yeah. We got really experienced, not just Brian, but the whole staff. And Brian's certainly been a guy who's been a part of the Sounders, for 30 years, I think. So. It's great to have somebody in that role that's ready, and I think you guys have seen it and how he's interacted with you as well as with the team. That Brian's very well prepared, and I think he's, to some respects, has waited a long time for this moment, and I think he's more than ready to fill in as long as we need him to. And obviously he's been a head coach before, and so he has experience with this. And I asked him if he needed any help from me, and he said. The on-the-field stuff, he said, I got that. I'll take care of that. And he said, I might need a little practice for some of the other off-the-field stuff. But he felt it was like riding a bike. Couldn't get back to him. So and I thought he did great and all the stuff he's done so far. So.
Yeah, how do you feel? Can you elaborate more on how you thought he did stepping in for coach on Saturday and just this week throughout training?
He had to make some tough substitution calls. We have a couple guys in the squad that are still not 100%, won't be 100% this week. I think you have some difficult decisions with lineups, even with formations. If you look at all the new guys that we've added, so I think there's some critical decisions. And certainly we'll all sit and talk about those things together. But those calls will be Brian's, and I think he's doing a great job, and I think he did do a great job, and I think earlier in the year he did a good job when he filled in. So, the other good thing here is that this isn't the first time, so I think he's more than capable of handling it.
Schmetzer indicated what a special organization this is and how it's really comes from Adrian all the way down of how they built this, of people caring. How unique do you think that is to find something like that?
I can tell you for myself that it's really unique. It's a special place, and I know I feel lucky to be here. And I know just looking at Brian's career, and we have a couple guys on the technical side that have been around for a long time, players and coaches, and through all the iterations of USL and all the way up. And I think, too, that our ownership are really loyal people. If you look on the business side, there's some people that have been working here for quite a long time, and I think that's a sign of a healthy organization and a happy one. And certainly when you hit tough times like this, I think Sigi knows that we're all behind him, and certainly want to reiterate that. But when I went to visit him in the hospital, he's got family and lots of support and lots of people around him. So,
with MLS expansion kind of indefinite now for as far out into the future as Garber sees, does Schmetzer seem like a guy that you would expect people will be wanting to talk to?
Oh yeah, no, I mean I in terms of head jobs, is that what you're asking? Yeah, and I know for a fact that he's interviewed for other head jobs, and my impression is that he's chosen to remain here, even in some situations where he had some opportunities. So I think he's a guy that's been immensely loyal to the club. He's highly qualified, and I say that having spoken to other general managers who interviewed him for positions. So for sure he's in the mix of those things, and that's a good thing. And we want people who other people are seeking to hire for these jobs, and that's a mark of our success as an organization, in my opinion.
How do you think Valdez looked out on the wing, and is that a potential maybe long-term fit with him and trying to fit all these pieces together?
Yeah. I mean, look, we signed Valdez, and we want to get him on the field, and whatever that looks like, whether that's whether you call him a winger or you call him a fourth midfielder that plays a little wide. I mean, I think there's a lot of kind of semantics you can get into, but at the end of the day, what we want is our best guys on the field, and we want them in a position where they can all succeed. And the thing about Nelson is he's got such a high work rate, and he's such a tough guy that he's pretty flexible, and you can put him in a lot of different spaces and places and in a lot of different systems. And we still want to get Andreas Avancic out there at some point, and I think when we get everybody, we're still not all healthy. We got Torres coming back from national team duty, and Papa, and we really will have I think all our bodies in for San Jose, but I don't think we'll be 100% yet in terms of everybody's health. Hopefully a week out from there, when you got the 3 games in a week and you got what's effectively a Champions League group final against Vancouver, you have enough guys where we can rotate, and it doesn't look like an A team and a B team. It looks like one good team, probably in a couple different forms, with a couple guys playing in a couple different spots over the course of those 3 games.
Sure.
And my understanding, but just confirming with the GM standing right here, is that y'all cannot appeal in any sort of way that yellow that was shown to us. No yellows, never.
Yeah, you use words like never to a lawyer. I can't think of a scenario where we can appeal a yellow. You can appeal reds, and theoretically, if it were a second yellow that were truly egregious, I suppose you'd be challenging the yellow, although you'd be in reality challenging the red. But yes, without being silly and legal, we have no ability. Yeah, but and the scenario that I'm envisioning is 2 yellow cards in 1 game, leading to a red. I talk with my hands too much. Leading to a red. That's not the situation. This is just card accumulation, and if you think about it, if you challenge this one, then should you go back and challenge the other 4? I mean, you wouldn't. You'd get chaos pretty quickly. So, it's I can't think of any scenario under which we could challenge it. I know we can't challenge this one, and I think it's the right policy, to be fair, because you can't go back and re-ref games. It doesn't accomplish anything, and look, you get stuff like this happens, and I would be surprised if we played a whole season without somebody getting a suspension for yellow card accumulation. Certainly, no team I've ever been a part of has ever made it without it before. So it's the way it works. Part of it, and again, it's. Broadly speaking, Jack, you got a bee by your arm.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. Anyway, it's good for the league. We don't want broadly speaking, guys going out and attacking other players, and we want the skillful players to be free to play. And so, if guys get a bunch of yellow cards, we want them to sit down. And whether we agree with this particular call or not, that's the right overall policy.